Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are now in Ray's Juke Joint. The lights are on, drinks are flowing, and I'm here with my guy Eric. Eric, how you feeling?
Good, buddy. Good to
And
be
we
back.
brought some friends along. We brought Dan Goodwin of the Three Kings, one of our good friends. He's here to talk some baseball with us. And we have our good friend Caleb, who is the commissioner of our fantasy baseball league, and he's a member of BGR. Caleb, how you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good. Ready to talk some ball.
Let's talk some ball. Let's talk some ball, gentlemen. Baseball is the hot stove is hot. The hot stove is hot.
It's a lot going on.
A lot going on. Caleb, there's a lot going on, man. Like a lot of teams they got their hands in their head and they're just like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, especially with this new news with Ohtani. I mean, it's crazy with those deals that are coming around. I didn't think I would ever see anybody sign for $700 million until that just happened. Wow.
Yeah, so if anybody's been living under a rock, and you don't know, Shohei Ohtani left the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and went to the Los Angeles Dodgers for 10 years, $700 million. It's an insane number. It's an insane number. Eric, outside of Ohtani, did they bring out the details for the Soto deal to the Yankees?
Yeah, it came out. The trade went there. I think it was like ended up being 4 or 5 players. They got the 2 main pitchers they wanted, King and Thorpe.
Yeah, King was the big dude.
Yeah, that was
Thorpe. I saw King and Thorpe.
Yeah. The Ohtani contract, I mean, crazy, right? Like, I mean, but we haven't – the details aren't out yet on that, right? The deferred money is going to be interesting because I guess it's record-setting. And one thing we got to think about a little bit is think about the Bobby Bonilla deal everybody knows. Well, that $1 million he's getting now isn't worth as much as that $1 million he would have been getting 15 years ago. So, like, how much did he defer 10 years down the road? Straight baseball numbers, he's got to average 7.8 WAR. If you figure $9 million, which is about the number they use anymore, for $9 million per WAR to equal your contract, he's got to average 7.8 WAR a year for the next 10 years to break even just straight baseball-wise. He was a 10 WAR player last year, to give you an idea.
Which will be interesting going off of that, just due to the fact that he's not going to be pitching for at least 2 years. He's not going to pitch all this year, and maybe he'll start next year, ramping up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So his WAR will not be where it's supposed to be.
But that don't even have the economic impact, and we all know, like, he's probably got to be. I don't know. You can't even do it in baseball. You have to almost go rival, right? Maybe what Tiger Woods did for moving the needle for as far as sports and other players. Like, he moves the needle that far, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does move the needle, but and this is what I was thinking about. You know, they're talking about the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are trying to add somebody else, and so on and so forth with that deferred money that you were talking about. You know, from what I heard, you know, I don't know how reliable it is, but they're trying to get it down to where it's around $50 million per year instead of the $70 million. Because, you know, of course, 700 is $70 million per year. And so if you defer some of that money, it's going to be interesting to see how much is deferred and how low it's going to go. You know, you might see more teams kind of taking and doing this type of situation going forward too.
So Eric, with the big move with him, how does the ripple effect happen for MLB teams now that somebody has signed for that large of a contract?
Well, I mean, the first people that are directly impacted is going to be, you know, Toronto, the Cubs, the Giants. And not so much the fact they missed out on them. It's just the fact that when your fan base and your hype machine is that close to landing a legendary, you almost feel the pressure to counter, right? Like, that pressure's there to be like, we're still okay, everything's fine, you know, or whatever. So that now people that benefit from this, players that benefit from this. Cody Bellinger, probably number one. Because I know he's on Toronto's list. I know he's on the Cubs list. I know he's on the Giants list. And so was Ohtani. So, like, he's number one now. And all of a sudden, you know, he's loving his spot because he went from not knowing to having 3 guys, fighting for his deal. Like, that'll be first and foremost. But, I mean, you can just ask Dan, like, Dan, as a Cubs fan, like, you feel the need to, like, counter, right? Like, you want the Cubs to do something that now we missed out on Ohtani.
Yeah, you miss out on Ohtani, and it's like you have to do something now to kind of salvage the offseason, right? Because so much was put into that. And it was so many people that was, and, myself included, that was looking forward to possibly getting Ohtani. And a lot of signs pointed to that's what the Cubs are going to do. They were going to go all out, all in for him. And for it to kind of fall through, it's like you got to counter, you got to do something. We can't let Cody Bellinger walk away. We got to try to hang on to him somehow, some way.
Yeah. I mean, Ray, you even remember, right? Like the year that Machado and Harper were out, right? And the White Sox missed. Like, you can remember what that did to the fan base.
It still does it to the fan base. Like,
they're still mad.
They're still mad.
I know Junior's ass ain't over Harper yet. Like, I promise you, I haven't talked to him in a little while. I texted him today a little bit, but like I guarantee you bring up Bryce Harper, he's instantly mad, no matter what it is. Like, you could be like, just set him on tilt, just like Bryce Harper. He'd be like, ah.
And think about the price tag it was then, right?
$26 million a year, I think it was, right?
Right.
I mean, that was altering money. Was like 10
Baby
years,
money now.
300 million.
And it means that's like pocket change for Ohtani right now. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Caleb.
I'm really excited to see.
Give that away to the dog shelter, probably on the way.
I'm really excited to see with Yamamoto too, if the Cubs or any of those bigger market teams do try to go after him. I know Yamamoto said things like he wants to play with another Japanese star. So it'll be interesting to see how much money he gets after seeing that Ohtani contract deal. He might be one of the highest pitchers ever paid in MLB, which would be very interesting for him.
Yeah, and he's never even thrown a pitch, right? Like, I mean, I know that we have enough
disgusting stuff, though, y'all. He's got disgusting stuff. Like his curveball is stupid. That splitter he has is insane. His fastball is a plus fastball. Like, I was watching him today on Pitcher Ninja. Shout out to Rob Friedman on the Pitcher Ninja. They did a breakdown of like what to expect from him in the MLB, and it is disgusting. And he's only 21 years old.
25.
25. What's the other kids?
The other kid in my next year. Yeah, he's a young one. He's a young one.
Yeah. So, but this guy, he's got nasty stuff. And then we saw what Kodai Senga did last year with that splitter, or what they call it, ghost fork or whatever. It's nasty.
Yeah, ghost fork.
It's insane. So Dan, that's a good segue to go into like, where are the Cubs now? Because there was a rumor over the weekend that he was going to be here this weekend, and he was going to be in Boston, and they come here. So he was going to be in Boston, meet with them, and they had what's my man name, Masataka Yoshida, to be in a meeting with them, and then he's going to come here to be with Suzuki. So what have you been hearing?
Well, I mean, I've heard the same thing, and that's the thing. They're going to go after him, but I don't know if they're going to pursue him as hard as Boston will. To be honest with you, I'm just being honest. They did just give Tyon money, and he got a little bit of money tied up in him. What are you going to do with him if Yamamoto, if you put him in there? Of course, he'll be one of the guys, but what can you do with the log jam that you have? You still got Justin Steele. He's not going anywhere. You still got a couple of other pitchers. So the Cubs feel good about their starting pitching. I think they're more focused on the relief pitching that they have. Of course, Yamamoto, if they can get him, if they can, talk him into a deal, but I don't think they're going to go as high as Boston will, to be honest with you. I'm not optimistic on that front.
I mean, but you guys have some leeway because you did lose what's the pitcher Justin hates? Stroman. Yeah. So he's no longer there. So you're still, there's a hole in the rotation there.
They kept the professor, of course, right? So you hanging on to him one more time. And they're hanging on to a couple of guys. There's room for Yamamoto, no doubt. But I'm not confident that the Cubs are going to go all in and try to get him. You know what I mean? I would love for them to do it because that would be kind of like a little consolation. I would love that consolation prize, because I think 25 years old and being the pitcher that he is right now is outstanding. So, if you're able to pull him in to the fold at 25 years old, you got a long career ahead of him. And you got a lot of good times in that ballpark, and not only that, with the defense that the Cubs are able to provide, up the middle, I mean, it's outstanding. So he would be a good pitcher in our rotation, but I'm just not confident, man. I'm just not confident that the Cubs are going to do it.
I agree with you. I think he's going east. I think he probably ends up with the Yankees, and I think it is 10 years, $300 million again. Like, I think it's going to be something, to that effect or something in that ballpark. I mean, I think if I'm the Cubs, I think the only thing that really probably saves or like that would, of course, but I don't see them giving them that. But I think they got to try to bring Cody back. I think that's probably a fan favorite move, even though I'm not as high on him as many, but I think that's a good fan favorite move.
That's a priority. It's got to be the priority right now because you can't lose that bat. He changed the lineup when he got in there last year. And it was evident. It was clear, clear as day. So, is he, Cody's still only, 28 years old? You still got a lot of baseball left in him. So, I'd be fine with Cody. I'd be fine with that. They can pull a trade off later on for somebody. There were several names that floated out there, but we don't know how that'll go, though.
Right.
I mean, I think the Cubs would be smart to try to sign Cody Bellinger back. I mean, that or he's going to go somewhere else and get paid a ton of money. I could see him either going to San Francisco maybe or even to Boston. Maybe another spot. I think I could see Cody.
Did y'all see what Cody Bellinger's wife posted on her Instagram today?
I did see that. I did.
She post. I didn't see
Y'all
that.
saw that?
She was in Toronto. He was in Toronto.
She's in Toronto.
He was in Toronto today.
He's in Toronto.
I like that. I like that a lot from him. Can you imagine if they had him at first base instead of Bell?
I mean, he'll play center field because Kiermaier's gone, but
No, that too, but that would be insane.
yeah.
A lefty bat.
Anywhere but the north side, I'm happy with. I don't care if he ended up in Oakland.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, y'all. I had a little technical difficulty on my side. Like, good thing about the platform, it does local recording, so everything's going to be fine. But Asinine, welcome to the show. Glad you made it over here and everything like that. Wanted to give you a good welcome. I missed what y'all was talking about. Who's in Toronto? I missed it.
Cody Bellinger's wife. So what does that mean?
She's
Maybe
living
they
in.
got some great leather purses up there. We don't know what that means. We have no idea what she's out shopping for.
I don't know what that means. I saw the picture online. I was like, this means nothing to me.
I guarantee you, she's not the only one up there shopping.
You don't think it's a girls' trip spa day in Toronto?
Oh,
That's all it is. That's it. Nothing major. Nothing major.
I mean, but let's talk about the other holes y'all need to fill on the north side. You still need another outfielder, right? Is Pete Crow staying with the team? Is he staying up with the 26-man roster?
I mean, it depends on what happens with Bellinger. If Bellinger's gone out, I believe Pete Crow is probably in line to be called up right away. I know Cody doesn't want to play first base. We have a hole at first base. We have a third base hole as well, but I would like them to fill it with Christopher Morel. But we'll see what happens with that. But it just depends on what Bellinger's doing. If Bellinger wants to play, I know he wants to play center field. He doesn't want to play first base. He can play it, and he's outstanding at it as well. But the big money for him is in center field.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Patrick Wisdom days are pretty much done.
Yeah. I don't see Patrick Wisdom. I mean, he's too much of a liability defensively. He's not great with his glove. He doesn't move well. In the hot corner. So it's kind of hard to see what happens. They experimented with him at first base last year a little bit. It really didn't work out, and that's why they start going to Candelario and Bellinger at first base because it really wasn't working out. So it is what it is.
There's some
They got a hole there, and I mean, I've heard names floated out there from Pete Alonso to all these other guys and things like that. We'll see if they're able to pull off a trade of some sort. I don't know.
Hey, what's the going price right now, Eric, for a guy like Matt Chapman?
Ugh.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. I think people are a little off there as far as I'm concerned. I would guess it's for sure in the $100 million range. Let me see what Spotrac got it at. But if I had to you want me to guess on my head, I would say it's probably 26 per for 6, something along those lines. It's probably where Chapman comes out. But let's see.
That might be a little too
what
That's way too expensive for my taste for what Chapman can produce.
He ain't been a $26 million.
I mean, they say Gold Glove.
I mean, you can go back Gold Glove players in the past, right? You can go to Alder Simmons, who is pure Gold Glove, and obviously not power like Chapman, but I couldn't even stomach 26 for Chapman. I would think maybe under 15 for sure.
Not that much.
He ain't been worth that since
under 15.
What does he do besides strike out? You know, what his bat's fucking awful.
I say maybe 20, 21. You know, I could see that he's decent for it at that point, but you know, when you get start getting to 26, that's a lot of money.
You're talking platinum hair.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I mean, you're better on the. I had the years right. I'm a little high on the salary. So 6 years, 103 million, 17.2 per is what.
That sounds.
Got it out.
Okay, so that sounds a little bit more affordable. But I've seen Matt Chapman being linked to the Cubs more often than not.
Yes, several times.
Yeah, if y'all get the Cubs, there's no pitcher over there that ain't got no reason to be at least average. Like, yo, you got the best defensive infield in baseball. Period. You got
ACB pitches to contact all the time.
You got no reason to be garbage,
except unless you're Justin Steele. But Smiley, what's the tall?
Payan.
Yeah, Payan. Like they should. But either way, they should be pitching to contact. You know what I mean? So you got.
That's the thing, man. Keep the ball low and let them hit ground balls to you guys all day. They'll gobble them up and get them out.
That wind's blowing in, right? The wind's blowing in off of the deal that day, and forget those fly balls and just play defense, right?
Is Matt Chapman still considered a Gold Glove?
Yeah,
he just won it.
Oh, he did win one. Okay, well then, yeah. I mean, you add that to that infield. Good God,
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
That would be good.
But you know, there's another team that we got to talk about. Since this episode is really, we're gonna be talking about the MLB Central.
This is pretty much the trader show. That's what you should have called it. You brought on a Cubs fan and a Twins fan into the deal, like the trader show.
Yeah, well, we brought in the Cubs. We brought in the Cubs fan and the Twins fan because they're our friends, but they are also our rivals, and especially the Twins. Up in the Midwest, North Midwest, there's a team up there, the Minnesota Twins. They're in the midst of a what are they calling y'all up? What are y'all doing up there? That's not a rebuild, is it? Like, what's
cutting salaries? What they're doing, which we talked about this yesterday too.
Yeah, I asked you. I was going to ask you again. Like, as you know, division champ, won first playoff series in what? 18 years, 20 years, something.
Yeah, since 2004.
Yeah. So and now the message they come out with is we're going to cut some payroll. I mean, that can't be, as we were talking about messages, that can't be your favorite one to hear.
No, and when I heard those rumors right away, I was really shocked, and I was like, "There's no way this is true."
Right?
Because we want more players than just Correa, right? You want those superstar players that come through Minnesota. We were finally happy for once. We finally won a series, which is kind of weird because it wasn't a World Series, but just winning a game we were happy about.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, right?
Right, and we have tons of young talent. I mean, can you imagine putting another veteran on this lineup? I know I've heard a lot of talks about Randy Rosarino, maybe, and even Tyler Glasnow has been talked about as well. But I just don't see the Twins making those kind of moves because they'd have to pay a lot for those players.
How did you feel about losing Sonny Gray?
I was okay with it. I was going to pay him that money. There's no way. He can go to the Cardinals for that. I mean, there's no way I'd pay what is he?
34.
34? No.
Sonny Gray that old?
Yeah, he's 34.
Yeah.
God.
There's no way.
Yeah. I mean, you want to stay out of free agency if you can as a club. Just for that reason, you're paying luxury tax. There's no coupons in free agency. Like you're paying, and it's the same in all sports. Playing in the free agency market is dangerous. Like there's no value there. You're not getting too many steals. Like you're paying for what you're getting and hoping it holds on.
And that's exactly what they did with Gallo last year. I mean, they were shooting for the moon. I mean, they paid him a minor league contract. Say, hey, what do you got? And
right.
Obviously, he didn't produce, and it didn't hurt us. It was just a year contract. Same with the Cubs last year. I mean, they went for Cody Bellinger. So
it paid off, though. It paid off.
It turned out well for them. I wish the Twins would have gone after Cody.
I'm not gonna say that paid off.
Well, yeah, I mean, they mishandled it. They mishandled it, not traded him, but like
y'all gave him a free $20 million for him to get the fuck on. That didn't work out.
I mean,
didn't make
they bought in. They were close enough to making the playoffs to where you couldn't trade them at that point. They were hot. They were rolling, and a couple of games go a different way, and they make the playoffs. So it's not, I don't think it was a negative. I think it brought some life to Chicago. It lets you see what the other players could do with a big bat like his in the lineup, right? And how it would affect everybody else. So even if Cody's gone, all you know is that you got to put somebody and you can pair them with this guy or these guys or the potential that they have, and you see what they were able to do last year. So it's not lost. The experiment was okay.
All you did was put yourself in baseball purgatory by doing that. You won 80 some odd games. You didn't make the playoffs. You're not going to get a good favorable draft pick. And you didn't.
We're talking about. Let's get back to Minnesota. Let's talk about Minnesota.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so let me just say this about Minnesota. They have 3 young players that they
studs, not studs.
I'm not. Are they all stud? Well, one is a stud for sure.
Yes,
one is a stud.
No, all of them.
Royce Lewis is a stud.
Matt Wallner, stud.
Wallner's a stud.
Royce Lewis.
I said Royce. That's 2.
Edward Julian, stud.
Edward Julian is a stud.
Yes.
Yes.
He kind of falters towards the end.
I trust him.
What about Alex Kirilloff?
Is he a stud?
Is he a stud for you guys?
No.
Kirilloff?
He's just there.
I mean, if he wouldn't got hurt, yes. I
solid. I don't say. I mean, average, right? I don't think you can't stamp him stud. I don't think.
Not for Kirilloff, no. I mean, just his wrist alone just hurts.
Is this? Are we going to be seeing Byron Buxton play?
I mean, with the move of Michael A. Taylor, I believe yes, he will be back to center. But will he be himself? Probably not. I really hope so. I mean that 2020, no, it was 2021, 22. It was a 2020 year, I believe. Okay. He was an absolute animal.
Yeah,
that year was.
There's no reason Byron Buxton shouldn't be the best player in baseball right now. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely no reason. He's the best defensive center fielder in baseball, period.
Yeah.
He can go out there and give you damn near 40.
His speed alone. But I've heard rumors that Buxton still is not going to play center, and they're trying to transition Royce Lewis to center.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was going to ask you about that. That was going to be my follow-up question. I don't think they want to put him in center. I think that they're just afraid of him getting hurt.
I mean, do you remember the last time they tried to put him in center? He tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I like Royce at third, even though he's not the best third glove out there. Mm-hmm. He's going to hit 30 home runs next year easily. He was on pace. If he would have played 162 or 160, he would have hit 45, 50.
Are y'all finally?
All right. Well, go ahead and call your shot. I'm going to let you both. We'll go around. But first, Caleb, go ahead. I know you got to jump soon. Give me 1 or 2 guys you think maybe the Twins end up with in offseason. Then I'll come to Dan.
I think they get a bigger name outfielder, even though I know they're trying to move Kepler off. I'm going to try to shoot that they're going to try to get Randy Arozarena on that team still. But other than that, I really don't know what they're going to do, especially if they're cutting payroll. I haven't heard any Twins news really of late of them actually trying to trade for a player. But I would be one to get Randy Arena on that team. Would be
Oh,
awesome.
here we go. We got a little bit of breaking news. Wow. Otani will defer $68 million per year of his 70.
I just got that one too.
So he's only going to be officially paid $2 million a year. He's going to defer $68 million a year.
I can't wait till like 8 years from now when they paying him $115 million.
Right.
Oh my
For how long? Like,
Oh my God.
he's just going to end up buying the Dodgers. Okay,
Yeah.
I owe you so much. Just take the franchise. Here, I don't know.
Yeah, he defers. It says he would defer $68 million of $70 million annual salary every season over the course of his.
Well, actually, it says
that is crazy.
yeah, over the course. Yeah.
Over the course of his 10-year deal, insane.
So
So he's deferring the
you know what I mean? What's their now they're gonna try to keep on signing. Basically, it's like an open.
Well, I
paycheck.
mean, I know they were. Some of the rumors I heard today is they were really close on Glasgow or whatever, trying to trade for him, and I know they're in the Romano sweepstakes as well. So like,
I mean, they got to go get Glass now because their pitching staff is either on leave because they can't keep their hands off women or just coming off of Tommy John. So
I mean,
I have to.
They got two quality. Well, not I wouldn't say quality. They have two solid pitchers.
yeah, I mean, they got Miller and they got Sheehan and they got
Yeah.
Buehler. I think they'll be all right. And then May's coming back during the All-Star break. So
Hey, Eric, I got a question. When does the money start hitting then? If he's deferring that money for his entire career, when does it start hitting?
I don't know. Like they didn't go that deep. Like it just came out the initial deal. We're gonna have to find out. But it's basically somebody at the Athletic said it reads: so Tony will defer $68 million per year of his $70 million annual salary over the course of 10 years. So like, does it start hitting the 11th year? Then I don't know when the bulk of that comes in or what he's doing there.
I guarantee you, like
Play first, and then you can have the franchise. Is that what it is?
Basically, I wonder if he's not going to end up being part owner. If he didn't like
Yeah.
there is something in there that's like he bought 15% of the Dodgers or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. Caleb, y'all have a decent staff in Minnesota, but you lost Sonny, who was in the running for the Cy Young.
yeah, but we signed Pablo. Pablo's huge, and then you got Ober.
Yeah,
You have Joe Ryan, and then the fourth is getting shaky. I mean, you really don't have a
you don't
strong.
think Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober are shaky themselves?
I mean, Joe started out really solid last year, but at the end he was shaky.
I mean, there's only so many times you can pump 91 down the pipe. Like,
Right.
can you go and get somebody like a Jordan Montgomery or what's his name is on the market? But basically, I'm asking, do y'all have money to spend on a top free agent arm?
No, I
Jordan
don't,
Montgomery gonna steal from somebody.
I don't
He gonna
think
get somebody
they
to
will.
play him something stupid.
I don't think they will, to be honest with you. Just because if they're like we said before, if they're going to cut payroll, then why would they go try to sign a top guy out of free agency when the market price is obviously insane and just not.
You know,
working?
too, is like I couldn't see him probably do it, but like you said, they got some shortstop depth. Like I know Miami listed 2 or 3 of their pitchers available. You know, like I wouldn't be surprised to see
Like
sort of maybe
Cabrera.
trying to make some kind of trades over there. Yeah,
Yeah, like Cabrera. I heard Cabrera and Rogers.
Cabrera and somebody
Rogers.
else. Yeah, we're available.
They just churn them boys out, bro.
They do.
Yeah, so we're looking at like a central division where once again the strongest team in the division is starting to look like Cleveland again in our division.
I would say the Twins are still the number one.
Don't be the favorite. Don't be the favorite.
Hey, can I ask you something, though, Caleb, if you don't mind?
Bieber's going to be gone for Cleveland, right? They're going to trade him probably. He ain't sticking. I can't see him sticking.
He going to join Juan Soto on the Yankees, man. That's the Juan Soto effect, man.
Yeah.
You got well, they got Bibee, they got the
They
Slim
got
Reapers,
Bybee, they got Gavin Williams, they got
Slim Reapers coming back.
Allen, Logan Allen.
Yeah,
Pretty solid.
yeah. I mean, they got a good staff, and then they have just a myriad of just solid hitters. Like
You
up and down
cannot
the lineup.
I don't give a shit who they throw out there or what they do. I'm going to tell you, you cannot win in baseball if you have Straw and Quan. That I could go hit more home runs at MLB than those two combined tomorrow.
Right.
In baseball, you can't win. Will they have one? Do they have one? I don't even know.
Now, here's where I disagree, right? Here's where I disagree. Wait, right? Here's where I disagree. When you got someone hitting third like J-Ram, now I get it. He wasn't bad last year, but he wasn't Jose Ramirez last year. But if Jose Ramirez get back to Jose Ramirez and they getting on base like that, and they always on first and second, it's gonna get nasty. Just like it did.
It's not 1989. Nobody cares. You got too fast.
That's exactly how they dominated the Central in 22.
But 9, you got to remember that Francona's gone.
Yeah, I gotta look up. I gotta see. Did they even hit a home run between the two of them? They had to, right?
Come on,
somebody
bro.
had accidentally hit.
I'm pretty sure Quan did.
Quan did. Yeah.
Quan probably had like 2, right, or something.
Quan hit one against us.
He had 5. He got to 5.
But Quan,
I think Straw was 0 though. I think Straw was 0.
What was
Straw had
Quan's
a home run since like 2018?
Eric, since you got it up, what was Quan's on base percentage? I know it was stupid.
340.
340.
Yeah.
He was exactly 268, 340, slug 370.
Dan had a question for Caleb. Go ahead, Dan.
Up, Dan.
Yeah. So you guys lost they lost a Bally deal, right, for the television in Minnesota?
I'm excited to talk about that too.
So is that going to affect you guys? Are you guys seriously thinking about trading to cut some payroll so that you can add some people, or what are they really thinking about doing?
I don't know, but the Valley stuff is really interesting. So now they're going to go straight local, kind of like what Portland did and some other bigger teams. They cut Valley in general. So after the Wolves season's over and the Wild season over, Valley's done and they start fresh with the Twins. So they're going to do like Fox 9, which is in Minnesota, or something local station, kind of like that. So I'm kind of excited to see maybe if they can do their own and actually make money off of that, because that'd be sweet. I mean, obviously the Cubs do it, and that's how they make a lot of their money. The Yankees do it. That's how they make a lot of their money. San Francisco does it. The Dodgers do it. And now it opens up for blackouts too, which is huge for market-wise. It opens up the Twins market a lot more, especially for up north here when Iowa doesn't have a team, South Dakota doesn't have a team, North Dakota doesn't have a team, Montana. I remember when my brother was in Utah studying college out there, that he wasn't able to watch the Twins because they're blacked out. So, I mean, it opens up a massive market once it happens, especially for MLB, which is a shitty marketing brand anyways.
Don't let me catch Rob, man, free, bro.
So we'll see. I think that'll produce a lot of money for the Twins, but I don't know why that would be cutting payroll wise. You know what I mean? You think you would open it up even more, especially with that money maybe coming in potentially.
So Eric, I need you to explain this to me. Jeff Passan just tweeted out the Shohei Ohtani kind of more details.
Yeah.
It says $700 million contract calls for him to be paid only $2 million a year for the next 10 seasons, with $680 million deferred until the end of the deal. The collective bargaining hit on the contract is going to be around $46 million, a huge discount for LA. Or,
yes.
No, not. I said collective bargaining. See the CBT on the contract.
Within the next 2 years, something's gonna be changed to where they can't do that shit.
They can't do that anymore, right? They just found a loophole in it, right? They're not going to have to pay the taxes. They're not going to be punished because they only paid $2 million instead of paying $70 million.
That's crazy.
They just found. Oh, it's no different. I mean, all these organizations do it. I mean, I don't want to switch sports, but you guys saw what the Rams were doing when they were making their run. That owner was just cutting them checks on signing bonuses. And basically paying them nothing, being like, here's a 4-year, $60 million deal, $55 million signing bonus, and you get $1.25 million per year. And they cut them a check for $55 million just to get around the same kind of stuff.
Hey guys, I got to peace out, but it was nice chatting with y'all.
It was good. I'm glad we got some Twins talking before you got up out of here. But I know you're
good to see you.
Good to see you, Caleb.
I'm glad you got second in fantasy. I hope you get second again.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right.
Yeah, make sure you take a shower.
So let's go to since he's here. Asinine. If anybody knows Asinine is the number one Juan Soto fan. Here we go.
Where is it?
The number one Juan Soto fan that I know. Like ever since the kid was 19, in there it is in Washington, he's been a Juan Soto fan. And Juan Soto got traded to New York. But my question is, have you heard anything about as far we know what the moves were as far as personnel, but did they take on the whole contract from San Diego, or
they didn't pay it? San Diego didn't. I mean, he's getting 30, I think. He's getting 30 this year, and then they'll have to negotiate a deal with him. If I'm them, I'm not gonna lie. I get it, Boris be on bullshit, but if I'm New York, I promise I'm trying to get a deal done during spring training just to get that shit over with. So I'm not holding that. Just in case by All-Star break, New York start New Yorking and Judge done missed 60 games and Stanton ain't played a game or something like that.
Mhm.
Like, if I'm them, I'm trying to do that. Now we all know Boris ain't letting that shit happen. So likely it'll be some more drama next year around this same time with who Soto going to, and then he'll probably inevitably go back to the Yankees. But
Hey Eric, I have a question.
Yes.
So just
Come on.
because, and I want Dan's perspective on this, but let's just talk before we get to the White Sox, which is White Sox is pretty much like here as far as in order of importance right now, because we've really done nothing. We did sign some international players. I do want to talk about those guys, but we talk a lot between us in the spaces and on our different shows or whatever about lineup construction. I want to talk about like how is Aaron Boone going to set the Yankees up for success with lineup construction? How do you see that lineup, Eric?
Judge Soto. Like, I don't think there's any other way you can do it. I think you just go Judge Soto 1-2. If that's what I'm sure that's what we're after, right? Then behind there, I mean, you got a few options you can play with, but Judge hit a lot of leadoff last year.
Mm-hmm. Asinine is looking crazy. Asinine.
Look, and here's the only reason why I disagree with that. Soto has been very open about his disdain for hitting anywhere but 3 or 4. So so I don't think that's.
I'm paying you $35 million. You hit where I put you. And
I mean, San Diego.
I don't give a shit what you're comfortable with.
No. I mean, it does make sense. It does make sense because when Soto was struggling earlier in the season and earlier last season with San Diego, he was hitting 2, and then magically the second he starts hitting 3, he becomes Juan Soto again. I don't know why that's the case, but that is the case. So
I have my reasons.
Yeah, I guess if you want to put him, you can, but I mean, if you don't have Judge and Soto in the top 3, I mean, to me, I suppose you could say the lineup isn't to me that great. It's not nothing that jumps off the page. It ain't the Dodgers top 4, right? I mean, what are we talking about? We're going to have Torres, Volpe, Rizzo.
They don't know if they're going to have DJ or not.
DJ, he's supposed to be around. Obviously, Stanton, big name, but hasn't been all there.
Below the Mendoza line.
70 games.
Man, y'all be calling Mike Dick a RoboCop. That's the real RoboCop, boy.
He's only going to play 70 games, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's me, it's like I said, it would be that order. But they could.
Can I ask y'all a question? You wouldn't play with Soto at first? I mean, not at first, but batting leadoff.
I mean, you can. And a lot of people are going to say it's OBP. Let's put him on base. Let's have Judge hit behind him. But overall, you just want Judge being Judge, having as many attempts as you can get. I mean, people don't realize Judge can run too. I mean, it's not like he clogs down the base paths. I mean, if he needed to, he could probably swipe 25 or 30 bags. He played center field. I'm not, because I want somebody to protect Judge, and Judge is the hitter in that deal. And to me, it doesn't matter where Soto hits because he's almost too patient for my deal. I wish sometimes he would expand. I'm not talking about shoes.
He fixed that last year. Come on.
Yeah, a little bit he did. He did a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the guy just won't swing unless it's, where it needs to be, which is his eye is, I mean, you could probably say what him and Barry Bonds, like whatever as far as
I've been
knowing
telling
what
you.
a strike was. Like that's probably about it. Like if you call a strike and they look at you funny, you're like, oh, I screwed up. If you're the umpire, like, they probably know the strike zone better than you do half the time.
But Eric,
But look. There's no way I'm not hitting Soto cleanup. Statistically, he was the best hitter with runners on the bags in the league last year. He slugged like 6-some with runners. Like you don't pull him out. You don't. No, I'm not pulling him out of 3 or 4.
Well, you understand that there could still be people on base if you hit 1, 2, or 3, too, right?
No,
like,
absolutely. Just
it's only the first inning that everybody gets wrapped up in. I'm more worried about who do I want in the ninth
who at the back of that lineup is getting on base enough to where that matters. This ain't a deep lineup. If this is LA, then sure. Austin Wells gonna get on base.
Verdugo's gonna get on base.
Fucking garbage.
But even if you're talking
Verdugo's gonna get on base.
280 versus
Verdugo.
350, they're talking that much.
Say that with a straight face.
What?
What? You heard me.
You don't think Verdugo's gonna get on base at the bottom of that lineup?
He sucks.
Oh my god. I mean, okay.
Sucks. He gets on base.
So it stands the reason.
His OBP is 324. He ain't shit.
It stands the reason that Eric, what he said at the beginning of this question, is that the Yankees lineup really doesn't jump off the page and scare you outside of 3 names.
Any lineup with Juan Soto in it scared me.
Well, you still got like maybe they leave Verdugo off. I'm just playing.
They can. If our manager's making the lineup, he probably does. I mean,
if it was our
I
manager,
don't even want to talk about lineup construction without he just pisses me off thinking about how the Sox lineup was constructed last year for supposedly an analytical manager. Like, what the fuck is going on there?
Yeah, but do you try? What is Glaber? Can Glaber do?
Yeah, you can't put any of those guys up there. I mean, the only person you could probably argue is you could do something quick, funny with the 2-hole if you wanted. Rizzo's a huge OBP guy. He walks a lot. He don't expand the zone. He's got some power. Do you want to go judge Rizzo Soto so he doesn't cry that he's not hitting? He's hitting 3rd or 4th. Like, you can live with that. That's probably the only other person I'd put up there. Maybe Virgo. Maybe you could, but
well, I don't know.
Rizzo's hit at the top of the lineup several times too. So
he did it a lot towards the end of the season when he finally got his rhythm back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could slot him in a 2-hole. Wouldn't be world's ending.
So let's go to the other side of the pond. I mean, the other side of the country, and talk about that monster they got. So what's the lineup construction over there, Eric?
Oh, the Dodgers deal.
Yeah.
No,
I mean. Yeah, what are you going to go? You're probably going to go – the top 4 is a big one, right? So they're probably not moving Mookie, even though you could argue that Shohei could be one. But probably Mookie, Ohtani. Then I'm probably going Freeman and then Smith probably would be like the 4, I think.
Dan just shakes – look, Dan just shakes his head. Look, he's just like this is stupid.
I mean, Dan, on the bright side, at least he went to the NL. You're going to see him 8 times a year. So,
it's just a dumbass fucking lineup. And then you still have Outman that's growing into a fucking role. And you still got what's the catcher's name over there?
Will Smith. He'll probably be 4.
Yeah, so
you probably got Muncy will probably be 5 or 6. You got Outman will be one or the other. You got Gavin Lux will probably be 8 or 9. Hayward will be down there in the bottom.
Oh,
and then you got the other guy that played for him forever.
Muncy.
He said that already.
Oh, he said
Muncy would be 5 or 6 with Outman, and then probably if I had to do it, I'm going for my 9. I would go Mookie, Shohei, Freeman, Smith, Muncy, Outman, Taylor, Hayward, Lux, something along those lines. Lux, Hayward, something along those lines.
That is just.
If J.D. Martinez could play the fucking outfield, I'd bring him back, put him in left field, and let him hit 4th. That'd be nasty, but he can't play the fucking outfield.
He can't anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and so we're just like.
He probably goes to Arizona or something now. Somebody looking for DH only. I know Arizona's in the DH only lane.
Are they?
Yeah.
Did they don't they have they oh no, I'm thinking about Colorado. Colorado, they're moving what's his name to DH. The first baseman, but he missed half the year.
McMahon?
No, not McMahon. No. CJ Cron.
Yeah, he has Colorado.
Yeah, Cron.
They're
Cron.
just a waste of power, bro.
He's a waste of power.
Yes.
You guys see the codified?
He's overpaid to CJ Cron, man.
I know this is going to be off topic, but can we just talk about how the Astros still cheat? Can we just talk about that?
No. What are you talking about, Eric?
Did you guys see the codified stat today?
No.
Oh my God! Let me find it. I might have to. If I give it to you now, can you put it up or no?
You ain't cheating, you ain't crying. I ain't got no problem.
Find it and I could put it up. Give me 1 second. Let me.
I'm pretty sure it was codified. Yeah, here we go. Plus minus home versus away splits for teams. Okay. Colorado was plus 15 on the high side. Home wins minus road wins. Like the Astros were minus 12. Like they were the only ones down there. It's crazy.
In my opinion,
shoot!
in my opinion, right? Look, you got to think about it. In Houston got the finest women I've ever seen in my life. How you not gonna go out there and hit me 3 home runs when you got you got Megan Thee Stallion sitting
all for the ladies,
on the first
all
base
for the
line?
ladies.
So it says that Colorado was plus 15 and Houston was negative 12.
Man, if I see Ruby Rose on the first baseline, I might go for the cycle.
So let's talk about Asinine. You saw that the White Sox signed. They're in the runnings for a couple international guys.
I did a little bit of due diligence on the kids. I mean,
the one guy kind of got debunked right away. I guess he's going to Cubs.
Yeah, the Cruz kid. Cruz is
The
going.
shortstop got like debunked right away on those rumors I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we snatched him up.
Out of respect for your platform, Ray, I'm not going to say what I want to.
Okay. but still, go ahead with what did you find on the other kid?
I mean, none of them jump off the page at me with really anything like defensively. I mean, he's cool, but like, it's nothing. I'll look at him like, ooh. I'm not gonna be like Mac with Oscar Colas on this shit and say he gonna get to the bigs and do X, Y, Z. No, I ain't gonna say none of that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we ever see him in a big league uniform unless we're fielding rosters with like Edward Encarnacion or Gerard Encarnacion or whatever. Unless we do something like that again, like we was doing in like 2018. But
yeah, it was. Did you see us being linked to Juriken's Profar's little brother?
Yeah, so Cruz is the one. I did see that. And then Cruz was the one that's going to the Cubs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Hernandez kid played third base, or Herrera. He was supposed to, according to this, have some pretty decent pop for being a 17-year-old kid. But one thing I am excited about is it's no longer signing, to your point, Colas, who's 24, 25. Sense of his kid that was 24, 25 for $2 million. Like, I'm glad we continue what they did last year and we're investing in the younger generation down there and giving them a chance.
I don't know what we possibly saw in Colas. Like, how the fuck in 2 years in Japan you have 20 heirs playing the outfield?
My favorite. Listen, first of all, like anybody that thought that man was going to not only be a major league player but make a difference on this level, you should never listen to.
Yeah, Mac.
Secondly, like everybody was so excited they said he's actually an outfielder. He wasn't an outfielder. He was a pitcher and a first baseman. Like he never played the outfield, and you saw it. Like you said, he made 20 errors in Japan. Like he was Gavin Sheets and Andrew Vaughn number 2. But you can never have a guy that has the slash lines and the stats. I'll just tell you, like, learn to read them if you're going to try to evaluate players. Anybody that has that much swing and miss and that high of a ground ball rate, they're never making a jump to major leagues. You can't. If you do finally hit something, you hit it to the pitcher or you ground it out to second base. Like, when you have that big of a swing rate, chase rate, and a swing and miss on top of it, you cannot play Major League Baseball. Now, certain players can get away with chase. Tim Anderson can get away with chase. Luis Robert can get away with chase. They have unbelievable hand-eye coordination. But if you're going to swing at everything and miss every other thing, you can't make it. You can never make it.
Good explanation, because that's what we saw. That's why he got sent down to Charlotte.
When you look at slash lines, I'll give you something to look at. So, like, by the way, go compare Colas to Sosa's in Double-A, by the way. They were almost identical. If you see, let me see, 350, 450, 550, everybody's going to be like, oh, man, I'm in. That's 900. When you only see 100-point differential between on base and slug, if that's giant red flag, like whoop, 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 something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. This guy's hitting a whole lot of singles. This guy's hitting a whole lot of ground balls. This guy ain't moving a deal. If you have a 450 OPB, like your slug should be 650 plus. You want a 200-point differential in there to ever make a difference. Like that was a red flag on Colas dead one. And I got bad news for her, but it's going to be the same thing on Montgomery too. One
of our viewers says that, Eric, you said Benny added pop to the lineup.
Yeah, he's been above average slugger his whole career. Like, I mean, I don't know how hard it is to understand that, but evidently people still don't get it.
Well, I mean, I just had to,
You had to read it for Bull, right? You had to read it for Bull.
I don't know if I don't think that's Bull. I don't think that's Bull. I got a feeling that's somebody else.
It's that Bull's fan, so I don't know.
It's probably the Colas fan that you should never listen to. It's probably what it was.
So
I'm more embarrassed. Like, I don't care what fans thought. Like, they're allowed to misunderstand, not know how to read information, make misjudgments. Like, that's their job.
Yeah.
My biggest concern was the Band-Aid and the mess up and the whole deal is somebody actually thought they could just put him out there and get over it and not make a proper move last year. Like, the fact that they thought Band-Aiding Benny to get rid of Chase and the holes in the lineup and then just to run Colas out there, like, they deserve to be fired. That was atrocious. Couldn't believe it came down.
What was crazy is that I was watching some highlight thing. I want to say it was the outfield assist of 2023. And who did we bring up to play right field? It was an older guy, Frazier. No, remember we brought Frazier? Clint Frazier. He had the number one. The first one that popped up on the screen was Clint Frazier, an outfield assist from right field. And it was beautiful. It was a roper, one hopper right to freaking it wasn't Bad Knees. It was it was Sevy, yeah. But it was kind of funny. Like I was like, holy shit, I forgot Clint Frazier was on the team last year. Like he came and played right field like another Band-Aid.
Yeah, he fell off bad, bro.
For baseball players again, bro, I'm gonna be so annoyed.
Say what?
If we become a retirement home for baseball players again,
I will say one thing will be different this year, though. One thing will be different this year. Yeah, I hope we're not like Clint Frazier and Trey Thompson, like all that stuff. But like last year, if you guys remember, like we called the Cody Bellinger signing the Cubs, by the way, like on the podcast. It's on the page. It made sense for the Cubs to be in that 1 year pool of players. This year for the Cubs, it really doesn't. They're almost flipped. Now this year for the Sox, it does. Because if you're the White Sox, you're looking for pieces that you're hoping do what Cody do, then you trade him at the deadline and you continue to add to your future and to your rebuild. Same thing with relief pitching. Like the Sox, you're going to see them here soon. They'll sign a couple $5, $6, $7 million relievers. It's not so much for this run as it is like it's the best way in baseball to rebuild your team is almost at the deadline on 1 year contracts. Then you turn around and you spin those guys to like contenders. Detroit did a fabulous job of it. You'll see the White Sox do some of it this year. Hopefully.
Right. And so like the other teams in the division are getting better, right? As far as like the Indians are getting better because they're getting healthier. They're still young. The Twins are still the Twins. Who's the other team? Who? Oh, the Royals. Well, they're no slouches. They're just, they're just the Royals.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, though. The whole division sucks. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It ain't worth a damn.
Like my favorite player in the whole division is Cole Ray.
Like, there ain't one team in there that everybody's going to be like, oh, man, I'm scared of going
I
to
like
next year.
it.
It ain't happening. Yeah.
So here's a question for the panel.
No. No.
No, that's a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, the entire city of Chicago would be lucky if we win 80 games combined, and that's including football too. The fuck? We ain't winning 80 damn
80's a
games.
lot.
80's
That's
a lot.
500, basically.
It's almost 500. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We're
500.
not
I can't
winning.
see it for multiple reasons. I think they're going to be sellers at the deadline, or whatever, no matter probably what happens. Like, I just think if the organization has got any kind of stranglehold what they need to do, it's signing these one-year deals, some bullpen guys, moving some more pieces at the deadline, keep adding and going on or whatever. So, like, no way I could see 80 wins.
Right. Yeah, I can't see it either. Dan, what you thinking about for your Cubs though? Like, are they gonna taking a step back?
It depends. It depends if it depends on if they can get some pieces, right? If they miss on Cody Bellinger, they can get Chapman. They can get like Reese Hoskins, and they could trade, believe it or not, in my opinion, for Pete Alonso if Yamamoto goes to the Mets, and the Mets are like trying to get him pretty bad, right? So if they get him, or if they don't get him, then they'll trade Alonso. If they get him, they'll keep Alonso because they'll try to make a nice little run for the last year or whatever, and then maybe trade Alonso at the deadline or something. But if they don't get Yamamoto, I believe Pete Alonso will be on a trade block immediately, and the Cubs could possibly try to move and get him. If they're able to do that, I'm okay with what they're doing right there. I'm all right with that. But like I said, I'm not really optimistic on what they're going to do. I don't think there was a plan B. You know what I mean? When it was Shohei or bust type of situation.
You probably got to love your spot, though, right? Brewers are going backwards.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean we got Craig Counsell.
The Reds are probably your next biggest threat, I would guess, preseason-wise.
No, y'all still sleeping on the Cardinals, bro.
No. Cardinals.
They got arguably the best player in the division and a guy that can easily overtake him this season. That's on the same team.
You talking about Gorman?
No, Jordan Walker.
Oh, Jordan Walker.
I'm telling you right now, he's smoking everybody in that division. Either this year or next year.
He can play, but I think he's still got some situations with his game and his swing. He's got to get the ball in the air. He hits too many ground balls, man.
Yeah, I can't see the Cardinals. I think that, to me, this is a last-ditch effort before they have to completely rebuild. They're trying to patchwork.
And then they did just send
dead starters, Lance Lynn, Sonny Gray. Like, they got the retirement home wheeling out there for the starting pitching. Like, I think it's a last-minute effort to try to patch
like that last year.
They still got Edman. They still got Edman. They still got Walker. They still
got Goldsmith, right?
Yeah, they still got Arenado and Goldsmith.
I mean, they got talent, but I mean, it feels like an aging bad time bomb to me that they're going to try to throw some stink on it one more year, then blow it up.
I mean, they're still the most talented team in the division, though.
They are. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Are they? Milwaukee's lineup is not as potent, but they're pitching.
There ain't a soul in that lineup better than Jordan Walker, and I'm saying that right now. There ain't a soul in that lineup. Stop it.
In Milwaukee's lineup,
there ain't. Who?
No, not in Milwaukee.
No.
I agree.
But they do have a kid that's probably going to start in their 26th. Is going to be a fucking stud. Churio.
Yeah, big Churio.
Yeah. So we shall see. And I don't know if Adames is going to stay there. I've been hearing things about him getting.
Yeah, I would say him and Burns probably both get moved.
Well, I was talking.
Everybody's going.
I was talking about that, and it looks like Asinine saw something the other day where they're saying they're going to keep Corbin.
I didn't see nothing. I said it, and then it came out. Get it right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, of course you're going to say that. I mean, what else are you going to say? No, I'm looking to trade him. Like, you want people paying the highest price they can pay. I mean, if they do hold him, it'll be the deadline. But you got to think about what they just did with that contract, right? So let's say we're the Brewers front office. We're now building 2 years from now around that kid that they just signed. Because Milwaukee's not a big market team. The money they invested in him, he's got to work.
Somebody
So
drives
like
up
I
quick.
no longer need to walk Thomas and Burns. I got to trade them off and get some younger kids. So when he's up and he's ready, I got some support around him. So like
he's gonna be up immediately.
And they're gonna have to make a decision on all those quality arms in their bullpen. Like they gotta damn near everybody that comes out that bullpen is a fucking good arm. Yeah.
No, they're gonna be a
Devin, I think Devin's going into ARB1 right now. Or he's in.
No, they're gonna be they're gonna be a one to trade with.
What'd you say? Nah.
I feel like Devin been around for forever. He ain't been
right,
around.
but I think he's in either ARB1 or ARB2, and and then you still got the setup guy who came on strong last year.
He ARB2.
Huh?
He ARB2.
He ARB2. Yep. See. So I mean.
Yeah. So what are you thinking? I mean, just think about right now. Think about the trade package you could get: Burns, Thomas, Williams, that pitcher. Think about those core players you could get to put around Jackson as he's coming up. Like that's right now. If you're the Brewers fan, that's where everything's at.
You can't pop everybody though. You can't pop off everybody because
not everybody.
Because in a Milwaukee situation, you can't just go tank and just go straight young cats because you still got to pay Yelich. You got to at least attempt to try to get something while you still paying that motherfucker to cash.
Yeah, another great contract.
Come on. He was the best player in baseball in the first 3 years of that contract. I'm not gonna give him too much smoke for that.
Yeah, well, we still got like no shot in Chicago to have we're going to be rebuilding. Like they saying it's not a rebuild. I don't see how you're not
right on the wall, bro.
You gotta call it what it is, man. At this point, you know what I mean.
I mean, it's going to be a rebuild because I mean, you're not going to bring Colson up to this bullshit right now. You're just not. I
don't know. Like, I guess I get why they're saying not rebuild. Like, rebuild would be what I just explained the Brewers would do if they sold off everybody, right? Like, they're not going to sell off Robert. They're not going to sell off, some of the other pieces. But like, yeah,
you don't have any other pieces.
It's far from a retool. No, they do. They can trade off the farm. They can trade off Colson. They can trade off Bond's contract. They could trade off Eloy's contract. I mean, which they might, because he don't really fit the new deal. But
I don't want to see him play another game in a White Sox uniform.
Well, Asnine's going to have a bad time because Dylan Cease is looking more and more like he's not going anywhere.
Man, look, the only reason he was the best pitcher on the team is because Giolito left and Clevenger is gone and Kopech had a 5.5 ERA. That's the only reason why he's the ace right now. Like,
I wish we would have been talking. And Ray, you and I are getting close now, but the two guys that are like they're moving now, I wanted to move 2 years ago. I've been trying to sell Makata to anybody that would listen, even after 21 and 19 season. You could tell that like the fractions in his splits weren't sustainable. And second, you can get the most value from him, you can get him. You should get it. And to me, it might be now. Maybe it's a deadline. Maybe it's the offseason. But whenever you can get the most – he's not an ace. Mm-hmm. He's not a frontline starter. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's he going to do? Go in a playoff game and go 4 innings for you? I mean, that's the middle relief. Like
his value is going to keep going down and down and down, like Moncada's is. Yeah. Moncada, they should have traded him 2 years ago.
And right now, we would have $24 more million if we could play with a $5 million buyout. But like,
Matt, get off
that, bro. Yes, top 10, top 8, probably.
What?
Yeah,
Eric is saying
minor league system.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. No. All I know is a couple people. I know
Popeye. Yeah. If you don't think it's a top 10 system, you're not paying attention. It's ranked 12 or 13 now with all the injuries that came up last year. Even hit it. Mm-hmm. Ramos, Rodriguez, the catcher that we got, the Seals, like it's easily a top 10 system.
Oh, then
you're going to add a
couple more pieces too.
You're adding a top 5 pick to the system, easily top 10 system.
Yeah. Ramos and Popeye ain't shit.
What do you mean they ain't shit?
Oh shit!
No, you.
They're top 12.
You're out of your mind. Out of your mind if you don't think that they're major league talent. Out of your absolute mind.
You said they're top 12 right now.
Both of them will have a better major league career than Colson Montgomery. If you think Colson Montgomery's a major leaguer, you might as well be taking hints from the guy that wanted to know Oscar Colas was a major leaguer. Like they're the same guy. They're the same guy.
I do like Popeye more than I do like Colson.
For sure. Ramos is
I like Popeye more than
Colson isn't even a shortstop. He's got no power. He has no speed.
What are you talking? Did you say he had no power? He just
no
led.
Power.
He just led the fall.
He's playing against 17-year-olds, and he hit 1 or 2 home runs in one game against 17-year-olds. He's 23 now.
What are you talking about?
He has no power. He had a 16 to 1 strikeout to ball walk ratio. He has swing and miss.
What are you
looking at? He has no speed. He's terrible. He's 100% bust city waiting to happen.
I expect better from you. What are you talking about? He walked the same amount of times as he struck out.
16 to 1 fall league. Pull it up. Arizona fall league stats. 16 Ks, 1 walk.
Oh wow. That was the fall league this year. That was this year.
He won the MVP.
Yeah, it'd be like you going down and playing against 5th graders dunking basketballs. Good for him.
I can't believe you, bro.
Montgomery is he's an in-betweener. It's a bad spot. I wouldn't be surprised. I would move him. I hope they move him.
But you want to keep Popeye and Ramos. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. You don't want a guy to hit 20 and still 49? You don't want that guy on your team? Let me know.
He's not going to do that.
Popeye.
He's not going to do that.
What's Montgomery going to do? Because he hasn't done that. At least Popeye's done it.
I shut him up right there.
Hey, can we expect to see Jordan Wicks this year, Dan? I like him. I like Jordan Wicks.
It's going to be tough to say. I think they'll probably bring him up at some point. I think they will. I think they will. I think they will. I think he's got a good arm. He's about at the age where you can bring him up and kind of put some confidence in him. If he can come in and play at the 4th spot or maybe the 5th, then I'll be happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's. But I like what he does, though. I like what he does. The Cubs, the starting pitching, man. I'm high on it. I'm high on what they have in the farm system as well as what they have in the majors. So.
Yeah, beginning of the year, you were very adamant about having the same type of pitcher on the whole staff, and then you get Justice Steele to have a breakout year. He was for the
at the time when I said that I wanted something different from pitcher to pitcher, right? But when you have the best middle infield in baseball, both of them are Gold Glovers. It makes sense to have a bunch of guys that are contact hitters, you know what I mean, or contact pitchers. So, I've changed my view on that because of what we have in the on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, Horner and Swanson are just stupid. So,
and now only if they had bats, am I right?
That's
Swanson. We're gonna be fine. But see, us now we're gonna miss Cody Bellinger. But you failed to realize that the Cubs had 8 players on that roster last year that hit over 20 home runs. So we still have some bats, and guys can improve and make some things happen. So we'll see. We'll see.
Y'all paid him $25 million.
Are you guys high on Bellinger? I mean, going forward.
No.
He's got like a lot of boom bust potential. He could be either or, right? I can see him going either or.
No, I see Cody being the same player that he was this year. I see him doing fine. With his injury that he had, it just took a little bit of time for him to get his feet under him.
He caught his rhythm.
Man, I mean, he was outstanding, bro.
I was just like, holy shit, this guy's.
He was outstanding. I mean, it was every game. It's base hits. It's doubles. It's what I mean. He was doing it all. What I mean. It wasn't just hitting home runs.
He had a couple games where it was like 3 doubles and a home run.
And he wasn't striking out. Look at his strikeout rate from last year. It went down. It went down. He wasn't striking out like he was. He was also getting some walks last year too. So I think he's getting back to himself. I think that's just the player he is, to be honest.
What'd you say, Nye?
I mean, he always been a walker. That's been his thing. But I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, the second he cut his strikeouts from 27 to 15, like that's way too different. He's not at all the same player.
He was 87th percentile savant K rate, so he was in top 15% of not striking out. And for a guy that hit that many home runs, there's probably
he's a completely different baseball player.
That's probably a rare air, I'm guessing. I'd have to do a deeper dive, but what did he hit? 26?
Yeah, and that was
26.
Yes, there ain't too many guys that hit 25
and I
plus
think
home
that was
runs
in like 120 games or something like that.
percentile not striking out.
I think he only had 120 something, 130 games maybe.
Yeah, he got hurt during the season.
Yeah.
He played 130.
When he came back from that injury, he was on fire though. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. But
I'm high on him. I think that's the player he is. I believe so, and I just believe that he's getting back to himself now. That's what I think.
I think.
Do you think he's Cubs' number one priority now?
In my opinion, he has to be. He has to be. He has to be. I mean, you missed on Shohei. You got to keep that left hand, that lefty power in the lineup. You need that. Can't let that walk out the door.
They're saying Spyrax got him at 5 years, 112, 22.5 per.
That's not.
I can do that.
I'd give that to him right now.
I think he gets more than that.
Yeah. If that's what he's getting, I'd give it to him right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if it touched like 150.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd say 7 years at 25.
Yeah.
Just because the one thing you're going to get with him, Justin made. I hate to say this, but Justin made a great point last show. I mean, it almost hurts me to tell him that he actually made a good point, but he talked about like players being able to beat you in different ways. Cody is a very good outfielder as well, and he can run. Like even if the bat suffers, at least he's not like.
I think he stole like 20-something bags last year.
Like that's the biggest problem with Eloy, right? If Eloy don't hit, you might as well have a bag of bananas on your team. Like he can't run, he can't field. It's the only thing he's there for. That is your only job is to hit, and if he don't do that, he can't beat you. At least Cody can still, find other ways to beat you on the field.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like we don't have multi-tool players on the White Sox. Like we just don't. Like
the whole thing with Cody for me is does he want to play center field? And if you commit to Cody, then now you got to trade Pete Crow Armstrong, in my opinion, because he's a center fielder. But he's going to get
Cody money. If you pay Cody the money, regardless, he got to go. Y'all got to keep on a second star because Dansby not a second star for real. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Pete's out the door. If you bring Cody back, so that's the thing. Do the Cubs want to move that route? I think that's probably what's holding them up. Do they want to hold Pete Armstrong in the minors and look for a trade for him, or go find somebody because you could easily get Pete Alonso, I believe. And
they already had Pete in their system already. They already know who he is.
Yeah, and there's a couple of different.
But they like him though.
There's different ways to attack this, and we've always talked about this, and I love these conversations. But there's a difference between a good regular season baseball team and a good postseason baseball team. The roster construction are almost two different things, and that's the reason why the Dodgers have failed, the reason why Tampa's failed, the reason why you've seen recently Philadelphia succeed. If I'm the Cubs, and to your point, because they have the prospects, I want Glasnow and Bellinger.
Yeah.
I want that number one going into the postseason. You almost got to – I don't want to say it's a layup in the Central because baseball you never know, but you guys can be a pretty big favorite to win the Central.
I'm not touching Glasnow with a 30-foot pole, bro.
For 1 year, though? I mean, not much of a risk. 1 year.
It depends on what I'm giving up. I'm not giving up Pete for him. Ain't no way.
No, you don't have to do that because he's making $25 million. You want to give up all that. But, like, for 1 year, he could win the Cy Young. Would it shock anybody? I mean, he's got elite stuff.
I mean, he does have elite stuff, but he
also could get hurt the second game and not pitch the rest of the year. Like, it's very possible. Like, but
that's why I'm not touching him.
But if you got a winning ticket like the Cubs do, and you're probably going to win the Central, supposed to win the Central, I'm taking that
chance
that he's healthy because he can win you playoff games by himself. He can be what Wheeler and Nola were for Philly.
See, my thing is this, Asinine. I don't mind the Cubs swinging and missing on something, right? But I do mind you sitting pat and not doing anything and just letting the team torpedo down down the drain. You know what I mean? So if they took a swing on somebody like Glasnow, I'm not opposed to that because at least you're trying to do something.
But if
I'd rather you be doing that than nothing, standing pat.
But if you're going to take a swing, especially if I'm the Cubs and I want to play like I'm big dog, like I'm on the level with the Yankees and the Dodgers, if I really think that's who I am, right? I'm going to go get a marquee guy that I know who, even if he isn't the greatest, I am not going to only get him for 30 innings.
I got you. Well, who else is available on that level like that?
The only ones that's out there that probably is on their
Burns,
list.
you could go trade for Colbert Burns, but you ain't getting him central to central.
Milwaukee ain't gonna trade with us.
No,
they ain't gonna trade with you. So now you're looking at you can have Dylan Cease back.
I mean, you can go get
have him and Eloy. I'm sure Asline will probably help him move if they're even moving
right now.
You can go get Jordan Montgomery, and you guys are still in on the Yamamoto, so you never know.
I just don't think they spend big at pitching. I'm with Dan. I just don't think they do. I think they have too much young talent. I think they're okay there, but I could see the 1-year shot type situation.
Do they trust Alzolay as the closer?
Fuck no.
You don't trust him? I trust him.
Fuck no.
I trust what he did.
Raymond Marquez could get his shit together and figure out his fucking arm. He could shoot
shit
as a closer.
I wish he would. Because he got stuff, man. He got stuff.
He a lefty pumping 102 sitting in AAA because he can't stay off the training bench.
That's true. It's true.
Well, I mean, Eric. So let's kind of put a bow on this. As far as in the next week or two, are you expecting the Chicago White Sox to do anything of significance?
No, I mean, I think they'll probably sign a reliever or two, like I said. But when they do, it's going to be just for looking to flip pieces. I mean, I think that's the next layer. He did what he set out to do and what he said he was going to do. So far, not upset. At least he said he had a goal was to fix it up the middle defense, and they did it. They got a defensive catcher, defensive second baseman, defensive shortstop. They did it, and they got Robert out of the deal. So, what's next? I'm hoping we see some sign of the future. I know Asinine don't like it, but after this show, I'm really starting to question his intelligence and think maybe he's been talking to the wrong people. But Hernandez from Toronto, which is Seattle, I would love to see him.
He can't play defense.
What are you reading?
What are you reading?
Studying?
What are you talking about?
Go to his goddamn page and look at his OA and tell me he can't play defense.
Can't play defense.
Yeah, I think Florida. You got to get out of somebody. Let's get you back to Chicago. Make this hook your brain. He is a plus outfielder. He has been for years. Look at it. Run a little meter thing. Hit it.
I'm running the meter. He's a 67 in the outfield.
78.
The 67.
Well, is that not plus defense?
I mean, it's plus, but it's like whatever.
Is what?
But it's whatever plus.
Who cares? I'm not paying him a 4-year contract to be a DH in 2 years and play whatever ass defense for 2 years. Fuck that. No, still Robert, give me some young cats in here, and I'd rather just see Nicky Lopez and God knows Joe Random in the gang play fucking baseball.
To answer your question, I don't see much. Maybe they address the bullpen. We still got to cut somebody too, which is interesting, but we'll see.
So, Asinine, you said something the last show, and it kind of upset me. You said something about Yohan Moncada having a rebound year.
I never said that.
Who said it? Was it Nick?
Yeah,
it might have been me.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, it was something. It was something along the lines of it might have been Justin, to where it was along the lines of where he had a bounce back year, and towards the end of the year he was our best hitter.
Well, I mean that is kind of true. I mean that statement alone, he was our best hitter down the stretch. I mean, yeah, that last 20 games he was, but that's honestly, yeah, he's garbage, but that's the truth. But is he gonna have a bounce back season? No, I think he's gonna hit 230, and then at the end of the year he's gonna sign a long-term deal with Pornhub, and it's gonna You know, like he's not gonna do shit.
Yeah, so we're still stuck with that contract. We can't get out of that contract, y'all. That's
The
crazy.
only reason they're stuck is they didn't listen.
Yeah, we just gotta sit with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest. That's another reason why they got fired, in my opinion. Is like, and you guys know this as well as I do. One of my favorite stories is, again, it's football, but that's fine. We can talk about everything, right? You guys remember when Patriots were making a run with Brady and they traded like the number 1 linebacker in the game to like Cleveland for draft picks, like in the middle of the season. Like, yeah. If you're ever like gonna like continue to be a program, you can't just sit and let these, to Dan's point earlier, you just can't sit and let these guys die out. You got to constantly be willing to think about what Houston did. Springer gone, Correa gone, Max gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be willing to let some of these guys go and be.
But also, to be fair a bit, when Houston did all that, they had their replacement right there.
Right.
Pena there, Tucker there. Like,
but that's even that speaks to what Eric's talking about. You got to have guys ready to go. You know, that are built up in the minors or in your farm system are ready to go in order to move on from guys. You just have to do that. You have to. It's a constant process.
You just can't hold on to them and just let them just die out. And you know, I feel like the White Sox were terrible about that. Like, they could have got max value for Makata. They could have got better value for TA if they weren't going to sign him. They could have got better value for Cease, you know, 2 years ago or even last year if they weren't going to go anywhere for this. Like, just sitting there, Grandal could have got moved instead of letting him just get like dead. You know what I mean?
The Braves do it great, man. They got people lined up ready to go. Soon as somebody's gone, they got the next guy in there.
Yeah,
right away.
His favorite organization.
The Braves are like just like, oh, it's like random organization. Like young people signed for years, all locked up. Then they just trade the farm, right? Your farm ultimately should be nothing more than a trade machine for major league players. That's all it is. Because most of them bust out. They're just like, you know what? I'll take Sean Murphy or whatever. Here, take all my goddamn prospects. Then they let Freddie Freeman go. Oh, I want that Olsen gear. Here, take all these goddamn prospects. I don't want them. Like, that's what I wish the White Sox would do right now. Take them all. You can have everybody in the fucking farm. Give me some major league talent that's controllable for years.
It's the same thing in soccer. Look. I know none of y'all watch soccer.
I thought this was a sports show. I know we were talking about soccer.
I watch soccer.
Look.
I watch the EFL.
Look. Real Madrid's youth academy. Literally, it's called the Factory in whatever and however the fuck you say that in Spanish.
No, this is
literally called the Factory. Quite like legit. That's what it fucking should be.
Yeah, they have some of the best scouts all over the world, just bringing kids from everywhere and putting them in their youth
motherfuckers on the team. They just sell them
they sell them like crazy.
They sell them like black people.
And they bring that's ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Hey, my fault, Ray. Hey, my bad, Ray. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
It was right there. It was a layup.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
Yeah, well, it was a fucking terrible fucking idiot. Gee whiz. I don't even know how. You know what? As a matter of fact, on that.
How do you segue from that? How do you segue from that one, right? I want to see it. I want to see a segue from that.
I can't seg it. I can't seg that. That was asinine being a dick. It's fucking just the joke. And then people be like, why would he say that? It's just because
they just shut down. They just shut it down.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go. I'm gonna thank Dan from the Three Kings for coming on, talk to his Cubs. He doesn't get a chance to talk Cubs a lot. I want him to have more of a voice about his team. So you can come on anytime you want, Dan, talk about your Cubs, even though this is a White Sox podcast.
Let's have him on next week when Bellinger signs in Toronto. Let's bring him back on.
Hey man, you're not gonna have me on just to make sport of me, man. That's not fun, man.
None of that.
No, I appreciate it though. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. And then Nine, it's always good to have you on with perspective.
You'll
shocked.
probably never see me on this podcast again.
Probably not. It'll be a long time. You got to go to rehab. For a minute. And then Eric is kind of upset with you because he's shocked that your acumen has gone down.
I don't know. I'm worried about you.
Hey, but thank you guys, and it was a fun show. But we're gonna turn the lights off on this bitch.